In a world where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence, there is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room. It's Curious Times. Your host is a curious listener. Here she is, Chris.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Curious Times. It's Wednesday night, November 2nd. And Barbara-Delong is here, hot off the end of her show, I think. And back to back, Barbara-Delong. And so, do you tell people at Blog Talk Radio if we didn't get to you, come to IntuiTalks and we'll hit you up over there. And anyway, so I hope everybody's doing okay. I'll just say what's coming up. Amy's here tomorrow. Salva Dutton from Australia is here Friday, as she will be most Fridays. Kimber is here Saturday. Kimber, come up with a topic for us now. You got 3 days. And Hillary Black is here Sunday. Monday, Diana Monroe. Tuesday, Melissa Bruce. That's the second Tuesday of the month, and that's our astrology day with Melissa Bruce, the heavy metal psychic. And Kathleen Moore is here a week from tonight. So, yeah, I'm still sore, really sore. I have a hematoma here right where I said I landed the hardest on there, and my hands are everything. You know what I mean? The older you are, the harder you fall. And so, it hurts to lift my coffee cup, believe it or not. It's just so stupid, isn't it? Just so stupid. And so, anyway, no big deal. It's kind of like if I go play darts, it's just different muscles. But if I go play darts after I have them for a while, then all my forearm muscles are ruined for a day or two. But anyway, I'm still all in one piece. I guess if this happens in 5 or 10 more years, I'll probably have busted bones all over the place. And so at least we think that we know that my bones are strong still at the young age of 51-ish. And so that's good news. That's good news. I don't want to get to that where it's like if you bump your leg, you got a shattered femur or something like that. You know what I mean? Is the femur in the leg? I think. Anyway, I don't know. Okay, Barbara's here. Everybody knows Barbara. Everybody here knows Barbara. There isn't even any fair way to describe Barbara that would do it justice. And if you try, you get smacked. And so we'll just say to you that she does do a show on Freedom Slips Radio. She also does her show at Broken Talk Radio, otherwise known as Blog Talk Radio. And that's Night Light. And so you can find it at Blog Talk Radio. And you can find everything, actually, concerning Barbara-Delong at her beautiful and comprehensive website, www.barbara-delong.com. So let's go get Barbara. Hi, Barbara.
Hello there. I just as I got off the show, I left 8 people sitting. And, I've only been doing the Wednesday night show back for, 3-4 weeks. And dang, I think that somebody did put it in the chat room that I would be here the next 2 hours. But yes, you should drop in and say if anybody's still waiting, come over. You should do that because 8 people, were left hanging, and especially
I'm sure their life hangs in the balance of their 18th psychic call of the day.
Actually, I have to tell you, none of the frequent flyers have turned up at all, and so that none of those people that were abusers have started to call in, and it's a delight to read new people who it doesn't feel like they've been calling around all evening for an answer to the same question, and they're just collecting as many readings as they can. So it's fun again.
And they actually are listening and care about your answer, not like, remember that one? It's like I was disgusted. You were really disgusted with the one that wanted to know how to sell their furniture. And I was disgusted about the one who you gave this big, long letter rip reading to that had unbelievable volumes of information. And at the end, she's like, so I'm not going to find a boyfriend? I called her. I'm like, that's all you got out of all of that? That's all you take away? Oh, my God. What an insult. So anyway.
There have been, times when, I don't know, maybe it's just another phase of Blog Talk, or maybe all of the reader runners are on other shows, and the fact that I put Nightlight back up has missed their radar. I don't even take the numbers down like I used to. I mean, that to me was getting obsessive and more controlling as far, I felt like a school teacher again. You had a reading this month. Don't come back again, and so I needed the break, and it was almost a year that I have not been on Blog Talk, but, I mean, the callers were there. I think we had 18 callers, and I didn't get through all of them, but I did leave hanging, and I wish that, I was in so much of a, okay, I've got to tie this up so that I can go to the bathroom and get to Chris's show. And so the next first Wednesday of the month, pop into the chat room and, put it in the chat room and give the link to your show. Absolutely, because if I hate leaving people hanging like that. No. And these were all great people, so that all they needed is the link to come over, and they easily probably we could have done them.
Today my excuse is I had very little sleep. I was about to go to sleep this morning, and so yesterday you missed my whole dilemma of I hadn't checked in on my personal email for ages. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so yesterday morning I was all, I should go see what's there. You know what I mean? And I found out that they had locked up my account because it got hacked by somebody in like Iran and Afghanistan, and they were sending nasty emails out. And so I had to reset my password and do all of that with the customer service people. And so in the wee hours of the morning, I went back to my email, and that damn email will get you in trouble every time. So there was an email by Canada Post, and now earlier on what happened is, you missed all this too, but Kathleen Moore had sent me a package and by USPS, which winds up coming to me via Canada Post, and it got waylaid, and it didn't even make it out of the state, not out of the United States, but out of the state where she lives. And so what she had done was she just repackaged up another bundle and then sent it to me, but using UPS. And that became a big drama and everything all in itself. But so, Kathleen said, well, you never know. You might still get this other one, right? And so I got this, and it was strange because usually they leave a notice in my mailbox, and all that. But anyway, so I didn't click on the link right away. I never do that. I went to Canada Post website and I copied the tracking number, and then I went to Canada Post website, and unfortunately a bunch of portions of their website, including the tracking, were down, and it said so, in an alert, we're trying to get our blah, blah, blah. So I go, well, I wonder what happens if I copy and paste this link in, and then it looked wrong. It just looked wrong. And so it was a fake email, and I'm all like, oh my God, now what? Like I didn't click on the link, but I went to the link, so then I'm all, well, I got to change my password again, and it was some crazy process, so because I get Shaw to put it through to my Outlook, my Microsoft Office Outlook, and so anyways, I had to stay up a couple extra hours so that I could get live customer service as soon as they came online. And so then I did that, and then I was too awake and blah. And then I finally went and had a few hours sleep, and then I had to wake up early to help Julie and Mark, who used to do a show at Kathy's Distant Echoes. And I'm trying to train them on IntuiTalks because they want to start doing their show again. So that when I finished with that nightmare, I went and I thought I would get about an hour and a half of a nap in, and so that's kind of why I wasn't kicking around over at your show. I was trying to catch a little bit of beauty sleep because clearly I need it. And so that's the Reader's Digest version of my excuse of why. But I do want to say something to you.
Okay.
Concerning the weight loss program.
Oh, okay.
Now, so now I listened to both of those, the long videos, the first part of it, right? And I started to implement, even way back, I started to implement the smaller portions, and I have been now eating every morning when I get up, or afternoon, or whenever I do get up, after I've slept, let's say, and only eat protein, and I don't eat much. So I might have if I make a chicken breast or something the night before, I might save half of the chicken breast and have that, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And so, but I have been faithfully having just protein for that first thing before anything else, and I've been paying attention to portion sizes again, and I've been trying to eat at least a few times during the day. So I will have to say that I am down, and I can't say that I stepped up on the scale right before, but, it would seem to me that I've dropped, a little bit, maybe over between 5 and 10 pounds, and I haven't got into those last few short audio hypnosis audios yet, but so even so far, just incorporating a few of those changes has really seemed to help quite a bit already. And instead of removing a food entirely, and you and I have talked about this, I'm about changing the portion size, and I'm about on my cream and sugar, for example. I've gone half and half instead of full cream, and I'm consciously putting less sugar each time. You know what I mean? And so having said that, I haven't completed the whole thing, but I am working towards that, and there has already been some change. You guys should we can go by the sagginess of my third chin or something. You know what I mean? And
oh God.
And so there you go. At least I'm doing as much as I can as I go. You know what I mean? And and so there. My book report is now complete.
Well, I thank you for that, because really it's an interesting program, and it does. You go through the two videos, and you kind of think it can't be that easy, and the reality is you have been hypnotized at least 3 or 4 times during it, and you don't even realize it. And I found that the most harmful thing that I was doing to myself, was the Diet Coke, and I haven't had a Diet Coke in months.
Yeah.
And it was the aspartame in the Diet Coke that I was addicted to, as well as the caffeine. I mean, caffeine in your body is not a bad thing, but the aspartame was disaster. And I have to tell you, the withdrawal from aspartame took almost 2 months for the aches and pains to go away. But it's an amazing program, and it does work. And it's kind of it was an interesting thing. And you're the only one that gave me feedback. Well, Deb Schiller gave me feedback. She lost 10 pounds and kept it off. And what it does is it depending on what your intent is, it will change your life, and it changes the way you look at things. And for 2 weeks especially, it's there without you even noticing it, and after that, it's your decision as to whether you want to continue it or whatever. But it gives you a chance to be to break a habit for 2 weeks, so that you can see the difference and then choose what you want to do. So it's
well,
a
and
great
I've made
program.
the new habit, and because I've been doing the protein first thing in the morning for a little bit more, I'd say more than 2 weeks now. And now you can only get the plan from Barbara if you promise to give her feedback, to do it and give her feedback. Otherwise, you're wasting her time sending it to you.
Yeah, just email me at barbara-delong@gmail.com, and I'll send you the material. It's a wonderful program, and I'm wondering too, kind of, who was it? I think it was Eric that wanted to know if he could. He's not here tonight. I don't see him yet, but he wanted to eat healthier, and that's something you can put. It's self-hypnosis, and she takes you through it, and it does take it's 2 videos. They're each about an hour, Chris, I think.
Yeah, the big ones are about an hour. And like I say, I haven't done the short ones yet. They're standalone little
meditations.
Meditations. And so there you go. That proves I didn't do them yet. I thought they were like little mini hypnosis for specific targets.
I think they are. I think they're the ones she puts you through during the long videos. And then there is a relaxation meditation as well.
Yeah.
And it's painless. It's absolutely painless.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like saying, you'll never be able to do it, Deb. So don't even bother trying. It's so hard, all you have to be able to do is put a freaking headset on and listen for a couple of hours, and then incorporate. But you don't have to, and this is where Barbara helped me, because when I first started it, I'm all like hit the wall, because I'm like, I didn't have any idea what food am I supposed to give up, and they ask you to take one thing that you think if it's chips or cookies or whatever it is, and it's just for 2 weeks that you're going to give those up, and then when you do the guided meditation, that's your item that you're getting rid of. And I didn't really think I needed to get rid of anything, but what I needed to do was I needed to get rid of big portions and only eating like once a day. And so I needed to get rid of portions, and I needed to incorporate, some weight so that my body could trust me that I was going to feed it. And so in a way, you're just changing your eating pattern, but you can think outside of the box a little bit with it. You know what I mean? Don't get all stuck, No, it won't cost you extra. Yeah, you have to pay me $20 for every pound you lose. You know what I mean? No, of course it doesn't cost you any money.
Yeah, no. No, I find, so often things that really work are so simple. And,
yes.
and people want to put you through a weekend seminar and then you don't walk away with anything. This is very easy. You get the 2 videos, you get the meditations, she leads you through everything, and it's so simple you think this couldn't possibly change my life. And yet, I was addicted to Diet Coke for, oh my God, 30, 40 years. And I was doing 8 to 10 of them a day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I still drink caffeine. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
I still drink caffeine, but there's no aspartame. And the next step for me is to give up the caffeine. But I'm trying really hard to learn to like coffee black so that I can go to the coffee. Because coffee's not bad so long as you don't overdo it.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and if you're not piling a tablespoon's worth of sugar into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Deb Schiller just mentioned Tab. I started on Tab. And then when they said they were going to stop doing it, I said, well, I'm just going to get addicted to something that I can get on a regular basis. So I went over to, I literally said, I'm changing my addiction to Diet Coke. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
So it has actually been an amazing learning process for me. And anybody I speak to that has actually done it has had a very positive result to it. But you're only
I'm
the
grateful
second.
No, and I know I'm only second, and I haven't even fully finished it, but I know it's important to you to get the feedback, and I can't blame you, and so I do appreciate that, and I appreciate your offering it to share that with us here and me personally, and so it's the least a person can do, really. You know what I mean? And so I have reminded people a few times along the way, and maybe that's why some people aren't showing up on Barbara-delong night.
Well, also she teaches this workshop. This is a workshop that she teaches, and it costs people big bucks to go to it. So, and I got it because I was interviewing her for my radio show for Freedom Slips, and it was fascinating because she sent it to me. She said, here, share it, see what people think, and it's amazing. I mean, if you really want to pay money for this thing, go ahead and pay money. It's a couple $100, I think, but it works and it changes your life. But I think also people have to be at a point in time where they really want to make a change.
Right. Absolutely. With anything, really. You know what I mean? With anything, that has to be the case. And so and by the way, I also was when I go to the store and stuff, like just in between big grocery shopping times, then I've been walking rather than driving, which was to my chagrin because yesterday I went out because it was going to be a full-blown grocery day, and my car wouldn't start because the battery was dead, and there was snow everywhere, and I fell, and it became a nightmare of a day because I've been walking instead of driving up until then. But still, it is what it is, And so anyway, what do you have anything going on you want to share with us? And before we, I don't know. It looks like we might only have one caller. Diane, again, if that's you and you want a reading, because Diane I think has moved and must not have internet. So last few nights she's been calling in to listen. And Kimber, you guys know to push 1 if you want a reading with Barbara. Otherwise, I will assume you're just listening, and I won't bother you.
Well, yeah, I've got a great medium on with me on Monday night on Freedom Slips.
Oh yeah,
Jen Young. Yeah.
Oh. Good.
Yeah, she's so cool. I really love her a lot. I intentionally try to every now and then eat peanut butter just to see if she catches me.
Yeah, I know, eh? She's funny.
Yeah. No, she's amazing.
I always told her, if I ever get mad at you, I'm going to just eat nonstop peanut butter, you know what I mean? That'll teach you. And, so we do have time to talk about anything that you want to talk about, because since we only have one caller, and we can probably call it a little bit early tonight for you too then, unless others come along and want to jump on.
I want to talk about a person's responsibility.
Okay.
You know, and I'm not going to get into politics, but one of the coolest things about being a member of the United States of America is that we do have the right to vote, and I feel that it behooves everyone to actually go out and vote. I mean, the politics and stuff like that, yes, they're crazy this year. But the reality here is that no matter who wins, there's going to be stuff in the wind and stuff in the air and stuff to complain about. So it's really, I mean, everyone should take a look at all the information out there and then go out and vote, because I voted only because I want to have the right to complain. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't voted, then you don't have a right to say anything. I know there are people that, I'm not going to vote because I don't like any of it, and I'm just going to pull the covers over my head. Well, fine, then just don't open your mouth for the next 4 years, because you haven't exercised a privilege that a lot of countries don't give their people. Hmm. So it's really important to be responsible for the people that govern you.
Right.
So whichever flag you want to fly, go vote for it.
100%. I agree. I say that to people all the time. Oh, my vote doesn't matter. At least, but like you said, you know, I go vote. You know what I mean? Whether or not I think that it's making a difference or not. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't vote. You know what I mean? And then I've done my thing, you know. And so usually I do, because I've been stuck in such a right-wing province all of my life. I've almost always been on the losing side. But that's okay. I've at least voted. You know what I mean?
Well, my family has been in this country since the early 1500s, and they fought in the Revolutionary War, and they fought in the other world wars, and the Spanish-American War, and you know, people have died for us to have this privilege. And
yep.
And to just treat it so slightly as though it doesn't matter, because it does matter. Whoever is elected this year in this country is going to appoint 1 to 4 Supreme Court justices. So you have to pay attention to the candidates that are there, not just the Republican and the Democrats, but to all of them, because there are people running independently. And put your vote out there. Make your voice heard. This is where you make your voice heard. I mean, complaining in the grocery store or sitting around in a group of people having wine and complaining doesn't change anything, but casting a vote does. Then you can bitch. And so it's sort of like when I just look at my family tree going back to the 1500s and the 1600s and the 1700s, they fought to create something here in this country. Is it good and perfect? Hell no. But it's a work in progress. And if we don't get ourselves out there and get involved in it, and I don't mean involved by arguing about who should or shouldn't be elected, but it's a matter of selecting people to represent you, to go to Congress and the Senate, to make sure that their value systems are what you want. It's our responsibility. It's a privilege, and if you don't take advantage of it, it can be taken away from you. And I really believe that I said something in some of the predictions that I wrote, and I think it's a bumper sticker, and it's all mine. I think I wrote it, or I may have seen it and forgotten. I saw it someplace, and I'm taking credit for something that is. Anyhow, it's if you slumber, they will plunder.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so apathy is not a quality any of us can afford to have these days. You have to pay attention to what's going on. You have to pay attention to the workings that are going on, and you should. I'm not saying memorize the Constitution, but I am saying that if you see something that's wrong and you want to fix it, figure out what your options are, and people you can complain to and people you can write to, because we have that power. It's just that none of us really have put any effort into utilizing it. And so we've sent people off to Congress and the Senate without really, giving them directions, and if they haven't done what we thought they were going to do, then we should have let them know. I mean, they do open mail. They do read mail. And for the most part, those people
have
live.
People who
have people who read it. But they have to live in your state, so you can hunt them down and corner them in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And
it's church.
Yeah. I mean, we have a way of letting our feelings be known to people who are serving us. We pay them a salary. They work for us. And even all the way up the ladder. Everyone works for us, and our tax dollars pay for their salaries and their extravagances and their stupidities. So it's a matter of take control. And so, I'll get off my soapbox, but I really feel strongly about this. As far as who you should vote for, that's up to you.
Well, I will correct one thing based on my understanding, and that is you would think that, like, whoever wins the election will be nominating this one plus any other Supreme Court justices who need replacing. But the fact is that the new Republican position is that they will not approve any Democrat nominee that's put forward, and so that's their new tactic is to. And so if they have I think it's the Senate, right? And so if they have control of that, then and the Republicans have their way, then what they want to do is not appoint this one, and they want to balance. They want to get control over the Supreme Court through attrition. In other words, as these people die, then they don't. As the Democrat ones die, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, how? That's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, I do agree. No matter who you're going to vote for, do vote. And if you can't vote for either of them, feel free to write in Curious Times. I've been voted for before in the United States election, and I had two votes written in with my name, Curious Listener, at the last election or whatever, the one before. I can't remember which one, but anyway. So so there you go. But it frustrates me whenever I hear people going, I go, doesn't matter anyway. I'm not going to bother, blah, 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 And the other thing is that if you believe that a woman has any rights to decide, what happens to her own body, then to me that's an important thing, and they want to turn over Roe v. Wade and all that kind of stuff, and punish women who have abortions and all this kind of stuff. And so that causes concern for me, as a woman. I would never ever have an abortion myself, but I would say that if you've been raped, you should for sure. Like, I don't approve of people who use abortions as their method of birth control. You know what I mean? But like, I always listen to that and I go, with respect to these Republicans who are so against abortion, I'm all like, but they're the same people that are going to be bitching about the kids growing up on welfare with no father paying and all. A lot of times that's the situation, you know what I mean, of women who go and have abortions. They're not in any way, shape, or form ready, to look after a kid, and in their personal, like I got pregnant unexpectedly. I went through with the pregnancy and gave the baby up for adoption, and others, don't. And I am not one to sit in judgment over, over what they should or shouldn't do. But I do object to people who use abortion as birth control. That's absolutely not right. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no, I agree with you. There are lots of people out there who can't have children that would, happily take an unwanted baby. I mean, it's just, and forget about, getting someone to pay for the medical expenses or anything like that. I mean, it's a life. I mean, but that's my personal point of view. But and yet
I just don't think that I'm in a position to dictate that, and especially in the most extreme, like saying that women that are raped are not allowed to have an abortion. How traumatic. Like, if men, a lot of times, like, the thing is this, if men got pregnant, you can bet your ass, Barbara-delong, that this wouldn't be a question. You know what I mean? And so men don't know what this is. Men don't know what this is, and they should be the last people to be deciding, on these issues. And so,
there was on Facebook, has been on Facebook, and or Google it because it's on YouTube too. There were a number of men who volunteered to experience what labor pains and birth pains were. And Google it because it is absolutely hysterical, because these men go, it's kind of like, I don't know what they're talking about. It can't possibly be that painful. And they replicate the birthing pains, and these guys turn into absolutely, they're crybaby wimps. And after they were all done, after they had regained their sanity, it was like, holy crap, I don't know how she survived that.
Yeah.
And
let's face it, a lot of men, they get a little runny nose, and it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And so that has been the problem throughout history, in my opinion, Barbara, is that even when we're talking about a lot of the medical, like pharmaceutical and medical trials and things that are going on, by and large, they're using men as the subjects. So they aren't really focusing on what the effects on women are. And this has been a long-standing thing. And so when men are making decisions about women's situations, that it blows my mind, and it's been for too long. It's been for too long. And even some women, you know what I mean? Like for me, it was really traumatic to go through the birthing process, and I remember some women in my life at the time, and I'm all like, well, I'm never going to do that again. You know what I mean? oh, you'll forget all about it, and then and I'm all like, I never forgot. I never forgot, and I found out what caused pregnancy, and I stopped. And
Did you now?
There's one way to guarantee that you will not get pregnant. You know what I mean? And it was that traumatic for me, and so I could not imagine forcing somebody to go through that. Really, you know what I'm saying? And so,
yeah.
But men don't get it.
That's what they told me. Oh, you'll. I put one of the links to one of those videos up. They are hysterical. I can remember being rolled up to the maternity ward and hearing people screaming and I said to the guy wheeling me, I said, if it hurts that bad, I'm not going through with this. And he said, sweetheart, it's a little late for that. And it was, but I had already made up my mind that I was not going to scream after hearing the women letting loose. And I didn't, but I don't, everybody said, you forget. No, you don't forget. I remember, and it's 50 years ago. So, nope, not doing that again.
Yeah, yeah. So you get what I'm saying, and not all women are baby machines, And there's a lot of women out there that just seem to pop them out, and that's fine,
they go back to the field and plow another 40 acres. I mean, no way.
Well, listen, I had labor for actually running over 2 days, but really bad labor for 40 hours, and
I beat you. I had 72 hours of hard labor.
Yeah, and it was a painful thing for you to lose your virginity, Popeye. I'd like to understand that. Okay. Oh, sorry, Heath. Okay, we'll pay attention. We'll be better. Okay, listen. Why don't I toss on a song, Barbara? And we get your message. I agree and concur 100%. Vote. And
often. Vote often.
Now you would be feeding into that paranoia of, what blows my mind and should never be is the notion that you can, if you know what, you started this off by saying take responsibility.
Yeah.
So if you think that you're not sure enough who to vote for, and you are in one of these states where you can go early voting, don't early vote. Wait until the last day. Because it just is wrong, in my opinion, that anybody can go and early vote and then go back and maybe get paid off or whatever to go change their effing vote. Once a vote is cast, it should be cast.
Well, I think there's only one state that will let you do it. Michigan? You can change it, but I think there's one state where you can change it up to 3 times.
It's crazy, but that. So again, with the responsibility thing, we're not voting in the prom queen here, people. You know what I mean, or the king, or whatever. And if you're not sure who to vote for, you should wait. And you're vulnerable to the news that's coming out, most of which is bullshit. Then you should wait until the last day and then vote. And
wait.
Your vote.
Wait, let me answer Popeye's question. Yes, we can vote a president out of office. Has to be done through the Senate, but we can impeach and then try them, and then they can be voted out, and then they can be arrested for whatever they were guilty of. It can happen. It hasn't happened. We've had a number that have been impeached, but it's never gone. And impeachment is only saying we're putting you on trial. It doesn't say that you're guilty. So we've had two that have been impeached. I think 2, maybe 3. 2 for sure. And nobody has ever actually been convicted and stuff like that.
You have to ask Deb. Yeah,
Nixon
don't you
was.
remember the whole Clinton? And,
Yes, Clinton was impeached. Nixon was not impeached, but it was somebody much earlier that was impeached. I forget. It goes way back to the 1800s, I think.
It was Andrew Johnson. Amy, I'm going with Amy on that. Andrew Johnson.
Okay.
1888. She knows her shit. You know what I mean? Not Amy. She knows her shit.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. And so let's go and play a song, and then we'll take poor Darlene's call because it's getting late for her, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, Barbara?
Okie doke.
All right. I will mute Barbara, and let's see, where are we going to go with this? Okay, let's go with, oh my goodness, reminiscing. Okay, let's go with, here, a good oldie. There we go.
When I saw you standing there, I about fell out my chair. And when you moved your mouth to speak, I felt the blood go to my feet. Now it took time for me to know what you tried so not to show. Something in my soul just cried. I see the one in your blue eyes. Baby, I love you and want me the way that I want you, the way that it should be. Baby, you love me and want you the way that I want to. If you only let it be. You told yourself years ago you'd never let your feelings show. The obligation that you made for the title that they gave. Baby, I love you and want me the way that I want you, the way that it should be. Baby, you love me and want you the way that I want to. If you only let me. Now it took time for me to know what you tried so not to show. But something in my soul just cried. I see the warmth in your blue eyes. Baby, I love you and want me the way that I want you, the way that it should be. Baby, you love me and want you the
Are you looking for a place to meet like-minded people? Perhaps you're a light worker looking for a safe place to share your thoughts and services. We've got a place for you, IntuiTalks.com. Join for free, post updates, blogs, create and join groups via website or radio or class package. The possibilities are endless. Join the All Spiritual, all under one roof network, www.IntuiTalks.com.
All right, we're back. And quick shout out. Hi, Amy. And Amy will be on tomorrow. Boo Boo, how are you? Long time no talk. I see you from time to time here, but it's been a while since I heard you. And Dan is there. Darlene has been patiently waiting. She was the first person in the chat room. And Deb, the Canadian and the American Debs are here. And Barbara-delong, of course, is our guest. Heath, Kimber, who's here Saturday, and Popeye. Diane in Canada. Diane, again, I'm going to say to you, if you're calling for a reading, press 1 and let me know. And Yvette Howell, 2 nights in a row. Okay, Diane did say yes. Okay, very good. So 2 people. Today's show brought to you by the letter D. For DeLong, Diane, Darlene, and all the other D's. Look at all the D's kicking around here. Lots of D's. Okay, let me go get Barbara. Hello, Barbara.
Hello there.
Did you do Halloween, or you missed my whole thing? I had a mask on, and then I put a different mask over top. So this was yesterday because we took the night off for Halloween night. So I had the big ass green ugly mask on, and I'm all like, okay, I just wanted to get my money's worth out of the $2 mask I bought, you know. So I'm gonna take this off now. It's really uncomfortable. So I take it off, and I got this old man face mask on. Funny for 3 minutes, and then there you go. So do you have kids, or you're out in the country, or how do you deal with that?
No, I'm on a private dirt road, and there are really no kids here, and off the main drag types. I usually actually just turn all the lights off and hide, because to be honest with you, I got the candy and I ate it all. So.
I don't buy the candy. That's a thing I train for. I try my hardest because I have very little self-control. So I try my hardest not to even bring this bad stuff into the house. And then that makes my life easy. Because I've never been the kind of person, Barbara, that see something, I got to have that. And then I get my coat and my shoes on and go out and get it. Like if I'm home, there's no reason to not be home and to leave and to go. Like I have to have a bigger reason than, that chocolate bar looks good for me to get my ass.
Like cream for your coffee?
Cream for my coffee. Used to be cigarettes and cream for my coffee. Now it's just really cream for my coffee. And there have been many times where I just say, psh, and I'll either use coconut oil or nothing. I just won't have coffee.
Ah. Have you ever done coconut milk?
Yeah, I did coconut milk. In fact, just recently, because I had a can of coconut milk. And but coconut oil also, like, I don't know if you've ever seen the video that I have up on my Curious Times Radio Facebook page, but it is oilier in that, and does taste different. But the visual of it, it looks just like cream. Like, it's amazing because, you put that, but when you put it in if I put it in the little bullet or else into my Vitamix, and you go like that, the sound effect is very important. Yeah. And it comes out, it goes in looking black, like the coffee's there, and you put a little bit of coconut oil, and it's like it's cream in it. It's the color that cream would have. It's amazing. It like blows my mind. It blows my mind.
It takes so little.
It does take very little. It takes very little. Because
Because I use the coconut. I use the coconut milk in my cereal because I'm lactose intolerant, and I seem to be also soy intolerant. So,
guess what I found out? You can take a can of coconut milk, okay, and then you know how the solid part is like on one end, and the liquid part, there's a little bit of liquid part in it. So turn it upside down and open it. Make sure it's cold. You know what I mean? So that for sure the fat is solid and all that. Get the liquid part out. Put the other, resultant thick stuff or fat or whatever the hell you want to call that into a bowl. You can get your little beater, and you can make whipped cream out of coconut milk. Wow. And put a little bit of sugar or sweetener of your choice and a little bit of vanilla if you want. But you can make, it didn't work so good in the Vitamix because there wasn't enough. So that would be better with hand. You must have an old hand mixer still kicking an egg beater kicking around, yeah?
Maybe, probably.
Maybe. And so anyway, you can make whipped cream. So those lactose intolerant people who miss having whipped cream, you can make some lovely whipped cream, and it lasts longer in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, let's get on with Darlene because she's probably going, hurry up, I have to go to bed. And so let's go get Darlene. Hi, Darlene.
No, I was not thinking that. I was just thinking I'm going to go try that thing with the coconut milk and the whipped cream.
Yes. See, the things you learn at curious times.
Yeah.
More than just a pretty face here, people. Okay, go ahead.
Agreed. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Chris.
Hi. So,
it is my birthday month, so I am allowed now, it's been a year, to have my letter ripped. If
you absolutely are. Oh, sure. So this is going to be a year in which you are focused on putting your house in order, and not only your physical house, but the body that you're living in. It feels as though it's going to be a time where you have a greater sense of need to put order to things, and you'll find this. It'll manifest through almost compulsions to clean closets or to clean drawers or to clean cabinets out. I'm not seeing you throwing away, special things that are, appropriate for you to keep, but it's sort of like I just have to clear space because I have new stuff coming in, and it's very appropriate because I do feel this next year is going to be a year in which there are shifts and changes consciously here for you. That it's really very, very, very profound that you make the space for this new stuff to happen, to come in. This is a 9-year. We're tying up loose ends anyhow. So for you especially, it feels like it's very appropriate to do some internal and external house cleaning, especially over the next couple of months. It does feel here as though you're kind of gearing up for a lot of activity over the next couple of months, and I would caution you to make sure that you sort of balance yourself and pace yourself. Feels like you're going to feel pressure very shortly, as though things are getting away from you and you have to take care of things that you haven't taken care of yet. And most probably you will not take care of everything before the first of the year, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. But November especially feels overbooked. It feels that there is a tremendous amount of pressure on you to accomplish things that you've set for yourself to do, not necessarily external pressure, but internal pressure. I see you pushing yourself a lot harder than you need to, and you'll live through it. It's not a big deal, but I really want to just tell you to take a breath every now and then and let the dust settle, because it feels as though for some reason you feel terribly pressured to accomplish a whole bunch between now and the end of the year. As you hit December, it's a time in which a lot of spiritual things come into play here. I do feel that there's a sense of greater awakening than you've ever had before, and it's almost as though you're finally plugged into the right outlets so that as these awakenings occur, you actually feel them and see them, and you don't know the totality of what's happening, but you do know there are shifts internally. And as you get towards the end of the year, you're going to probably feel a little bit of lightheadedness too, as though, whoa, something really is happening. It does feel as though towards the end of the year, maybe not New Year's Eve, but shortly before that, there is going to be a major shift in consciousness as far as the whole world goes. Excuse me, and those who have a sense of spiritual awakening certainly are going to feel this even more than others. And this is going to be a major time for you because you're going to have some of those aha moments. You're going to see connections made that you hadn't known were there. And as you get to January, there's a sense here of phoenix rising energy, of being reborn out of the ashes of the old, of really saying, okay, I finally feel that I'm on track now and I want to make sure I don't get off track. And you won't get off track, but the reality is that sometimes you are sidelined for a while to sort of assimilate what you've learned and what you've gathered, and those are going to be the times that you freak out and think, oh God, no, I've done something wrong, and that's not the case. It's just that you're gathering a lot of material in physical. Your consciousness is dealing with a whole bunch of new material, and on your higher consciousness level, your spirit is bringing more and more wisdom from the ancients into your reality, so that there is the element of feeling overloaded from time to time. So you do need those times to sit back and sit by the fire and eat bonbons or stare at your lava lamp or do whatever it is that gives you a sense of just sitting back and chilling out, because it feels that you're pushing yourself very, very hard over this next year, and you need those chill out times. And if you need to just take a day out here and there every other week to just be by yourself, for yourself, I would absolutely say do it, because you really are pushing yourself very hard. And there's no reason to, because you're not wasting your time. You will have time to accomplish everything you've meant to this lifetime. There's no rush here. So enjoy the ride instead of trying to push yourself as hard as you're trying to push. As you get into February, there's a sense here of anything you send out returns you to you greatly magnified. This goes for like emails or even snail mail, or if you're putting out applications, or if you're putting out material that you know will get a response from other people, applications of any sort, advertisements of any sort, anything sent out in February is going to have a greater sense of power to it, so that your responses are going to be more than you expect. I mean, certainly do what you do normally, but do be aware that in the February time frame, whatever you send out returns to you greatly magnified. This also means that a lot of the changes that you've made to yourself, and I do applaud the fact that you have worked very hard on yourself, it feels as though the energy that you're radiating shifts and changes as you come into the February time frame. So you're going to be drawing to yourself, magnetizing to yourself a new level of people, a new how do I put it? I think the people that you have around you are perfectly lovely, but as of the February time frame, you're drawing people to you that have a greater sense of an understanding of the spiritual nature of us and the spiritual journey that we're all on, so that it's a greatly enhanced awareness, so that you're radiating it because you're feeling it, and you're radiating it, and you're going to draw to yourself people that are more like-minded than ever before, I guess is the best way to put it. March is a time frame where it feels like there's an initiation here of sorts, so I feel that on many levels you're graduating, sort of, just to a new level or plateau, not to completion of anything, but it's a new level of understanding in the way that you apply yourself to your reality, and a way that you are giving thanks for the gifts that have been given you. I feel there's a new stretch of an understanding of the gifts and talents, especially those on a healing level that you've brought into this reality. As you hit April, it feels like there's magic and miracles, expecting the unexpected. There's a sense of greater energy here than ever before. I almost feel as though you're almost sitting in a vortex of energy, and almost nothing is impossible to you. The ability to utilize your the magnetism that is your spirit that you do radiate is quite powerful. And not that you could make rivers flow backwards or people raised from the dead, but it does mean that when you have things that you want to accomplish, or new directions that you want to go in, or doors that you want to open, the element of we create our reality by our perception of it is very, very much here. And it does feel as though you come to a greater understanding of that particular philosophy. And there are areas of your life that you do want to alter slightly. And it's a matter of you perceive them differently, therefore they become different. Now, you can't change other people, but you can change your own reality. And by doing that, in order for people to be in your reality, they have to shift and change the way they deal with you, or they go away. So that aspect is very much here in the April time frame. I feel strongly that you'll play with it. You'll play with it for a while, and then you will focus on more major things within your life to shift and change, finding that it is something that you really actually can do. Things don't happen immediately, but you do feel and see the shifts the more you practice that particular aspect. And the more you are able to utilize that aspect, the more grandly you are able to shift and change the direction that you're going in, if it's appropriate for your higher consciousness. Your higher consciousness won't let you get too out of hand with this, but it is something that it is a talent and a skill and a gift that you're going to utilize. When you remember that you have it, you will utilize it more greatly than most people do. As you come into the May time frame, sense of karma is here. It feels as though there are people who are karmically linked to you who you're going to be drawing into your life, and May is a time where you do sort of tie up loose ends from past lifetimes. It feels as though there are people that sort of drift in and then drift out. It's going to be it's a cool time for you. And some of the people that drift into your life are going to be people that you've had in relationships or been family members with in the past, and these are going to be people that become very close, good friends that are with you for the rest of your life. So it's going to be a very exciting time for that. You're obviously not going to know that who is what, but over time you will realize that there is a sense of trust and familiarity there that is unusual and unique, and those are going to be people that you've been with in past lifetimes that have had good relationships with you. So it's a very positive energy that they bring into the friendship. As you hit June, there's a new sense of understanding that sometimes you make things a little harder for yourself than you need to. Also, an element of you've had in the past the habit of repeating lessons over and over again to make sure that you've accomplished what you're supposed to accomplish. You sometimes overdo that, and once you've recognized something as a lesson and you don't want to repeat it again, I would advise you not to. However, this is one of your patterns, so if it's appropriate, do it. But it feels to me that the awareness that you have internally is enough so that you don't need to do these many repetitions of a single lesson over and over again, speaking mostly about relationship stuff here, just in case you didn't know. As you come into the July time frame, here's where home shifts and changes a little bit. It feels as though there may possibly be a move. If not a move, then a shift and a change within your home structure, so that you're switching furniture around or you're rearranging stuff. But the thought of a move is definitely here, and it may be something that you sort of put on track to be accomplished within a year or so's time. But there's definitely the issue, the fact, the thought, the hope of relocation here. And it may not happen as fast as you would like, but I do feel that it is something that once you put into the mix, it does come due when it's the right time. There's a sense here as you get into August of expanding your abilities to enhance your intuition. You seem to be recognizing the hints the universe is sending you, though you don't know what to do with them. If you journal them, if you write them down and return to them from time to time, you'll be able to see the symbols within the hints and the suggestions as to the new directions that you're going to be going in. You do have a very, very rich, deep talent for prognostication. And that's not prostitution. That's prognostication. just making sure. I said it to somebody, and then she said, "So I should be a prostitute?" I said, "No. Prognostication. That's drawing wisdom and insight out of the ether and applying it to your life or sharing it with others. So this is something that you have a very strong ability for. Do understand that it's only appropriate to give information when you've been asked, because sometimes people get these flashes of insight and they run around telling people things in the grocery store, which is totally inappropriate. So write them down when you get them. And if the person ever asks you, do you see anything, do you feel anything, then make sure that whatever you give them, you give it in a way so that it's a message that you would gratefully receive yourself. So that said, then you're never going to run into any sort of trouble here. September is a time where there's laughter, joy, and celebration. It feels as though you've graduated on some level. There's also gatherings. It almost feels like it's reunion or a birth. It's a celebration. So it feels as though there may be either weddings or major parties of some sort going on here in the September time frame. And as you hit October, a birth of a new aspect of you emerges, something that you've been working on. It's a facet of yourself, a talent, a gift that you are getting ready to be able to comfortably share with all of reality. A very exciting time for you. Okay?
Thank you. And I got the I wouldn't be a prostitute. I'm too old to be one. So
I can't even give it away. Never mind, get someone to pay me.
Pay for what? Are you nuts?
Well,
thank you very much, Barbara.
You're very welcome, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday. Okay. All right, Darlene. Thank you for your patience and waiting all that time. And next up is Diane. And this is the last one, it looks like. Hi, Diane. How'd the move go?
Well, it was a great adventure.
Okay. Maybe you could tell us about it in overtime.
Okay, thanks. Hi, Barbara.
Hi there. What can I do for you tonight?
Well, I can breathe now, and I have moved, but I just wondered. You did give me a sort of a read maybe 6 months ago, maybe, and yeah. But I just wondered if there was any kind of insight, because now that I've moved, everything has changed.
Okay. It feels here as though. Well, I feel that in many cases you've set yourself free. And but you're not all the way unpacked, are you?
No.
Okay.
No, nowhere. Yeah.
And it feels as though you have some allergies that are kicking up too.
Mhm.
Most likely dust and stuff like that. I would say that there's a sense here of you have new energy coming into you. There's a sense of you're moving in new directions. And after the first of the year, it really does appear that there's a lot of work ahead for you. I mean, and that's a good thing. I almost feel like the universe is laughing at you because you seem to be open to the shifts and changes, but fighting it all the way, so that you're not putting blockages around, but you're grumbling all the way here. So was this a happy move?
Oh yeah, it was great to get away from all the mold and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
It's going to take you a good 3 months to feel better, health-wise.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Because you've got a lot of stuff in your lungs here, and it's like your head is thick too. I mean, and I don't mean. I mean, it just feels like you have stuff inside of your system, and you need to flush it out. And it's going to take about that long to actually flush it all out. But it does feel as though you're working on new directions. It does feel that you've set yourself free. And because of that, it does feel as though you've put yourself in a place and a space that is clearer and cleaner energetically, so that you're drawing more information to you. So are you journaling down all of the insights and wisdoms that you're getting, all of the little hints from the universe, that the signals and the symbols that you're getting that are coincidences that happen? Because it feels like a lot of that is going on now.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Are you writing them down?
Yep, I got up at like 4:20 last night, and I wrote for about an hour.
Okay, that's great. It feels like where you are now has a greater clarity about it, so that material that you're bringing through is of a truer nature to what Spirit wants you to do. I feel that, sometimes I figure when Spirit moves me around, it's like, okay, that's great, but, you're not packing or unpacking or cleaning or anything. So, stop pushing, so to speak. I do feel that you're opening yourself up to a lot of new experiences in the new year, and it does feel as though there are new beginnings and fresh starts here on many different aspects of you, friendship, relationship, even direction creatively. It feels as though new stuff is flowing through you, so that when you have the inclination to try things new, to put yourself out there, to allow things to open to you, I feel the universe is going to put you in the position of talking to greater groups of people. It feels like you're gonna be put in the position where you're going to be teaching on new and different levels that you haven't taught on before. And it doesn't feel like you're comfortable at first, but it does feel like you actually get off on it once you get going with it. So it looks like it's a pretty exciting time for you. Often those things that we are so resistant, that we're tremendously resistant against, turn out to be the most exciting and rewarding things, after we've survived them. I feel you struggling against change and yet allowing it to happen. And that's okay. That's your modality. That's how you work. But the spiritual seems to be more and more pulling at you as you get into the first of the year. And then as you get into the summertime, again, there's a very, very strong pull to become involved in activities that are more spiritually oriented than you're at this moment in time. I feel that do you teach classes in spirituality or anything like that?
I have started in the past, and I've done it partially, but then my health always seemed to fail, So yeah. Yeah. And years ago, I actually was doing it on a different level. It was more physical, mental, spiritual, kind of all in one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It feels like it's presenting itself again, and it feels as though it's something that you are going to be open to, and you're going to find a way of doing it in a different way and manner. But it does feel as though this time it will work for you, with you, far greater comfort. You have a tremendous amount of material inside of you to share, and certainly and to channel, so that there is a sense here of, there's so many people out there that say they're on a spiritual journey, but they don't know what it is. And it's important that they be given the fundamentals and the foundations so that they they can more appropriately utilize their talents and their skills to not only enhance their own spirit, the spirit within them, but to share their gifts with other people as well. And so that's what I'm seeing here. I think you've been set free to move in new directions, but they're the directions that spirit gives to you. So it's a matter of that old saying of go with the flow. And actually it's kind of unusual because sometimes the flow isn't flowing, to be honest with you. And at those times, that's when we're supposed to be developing patience, and we're supposed to be, doing creative things so that we're building energy to make a shift or whatever. And it feels to me as though you've got some lulls here, but for the most part, it feels like it's a pretty constant flow of energy. And as you hit September, it feels as though here's where crown chakra opens up and there's a new download of information for you. And there's greater confidence. There's taking back your power. That's opening up to new things happening. And part of it, too, is that you're looking for a place to either study or take classes or do workshops or whatever, and it frustrates you because you can't find a place to do that, and that means that it's up to you to create it and to do it and to put it out there. And you can do it on Blog Talk, you can do it on IntuiTalks, you can do it in any number of places, but it feels as though there is a calling, and even though you don't feel prepared, it feels as though you are ready. And the prepared part comes from the intellectual fear, and the fact that you're ready is that you don't really need to prepare. You just allow something to happen and flow. And as you get into this time frame next year, you're going to find that there is a great joy and an understanding that even though you didn't feel ready, obviously you were, because something is beginning to actually not only evolve, but be financially beneficial to you as well. Okay?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, Diane,
Lots of water. Drink lots of water. You need to flush that system out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to come back to you after. There is one last caller, last minute, and then you guys will say goodnight to Barbara. I'll play a little bit of music, then we'll get some people. I want to hear about Diane's move. So we have Deb in Calgary here. Hi, Deb.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Deb. How can I help?
For a long time when you've been on, but I don't really need a letter rip or anything, but
okay.
I'm just wondering if you've got anything for me. I don't know. Do you need a question or something?
Yeah. Yeah, so it feels like something's percolating in you. I don't think you're pregnant or anything like that, unless it's pregnant.
Immaculate conception?
No, it feels like it's a new direction. It
okay.
feels like it's a new way of expressing yourself, and it does feel like you've set yourself free for new beginnings, and you've forgiven yourself for some of the false starts that you've made in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So it does feel as though you're ready to try things again, is what I'm hearing. And when we say that, we usually go to relationships. Are you in one?
No, but I seriously was thinking about relationships over the last couple of days, which is rare because I've been on my own for a really long time.
Yeah, I would, get new underwear.
Yeah, I know, right? That's so funny. I don't know. It just.
Yeah, no, you've forgiven yourself for some of the lessons that you needed to learn, because you did repeat them a couple of times. And it does feel as though the blockages that you've put out there to sort of prevent something from coming close to you, you're taking them down, and you're actually doing it in dream state as opposed to in physical, and consciously doing it. And it does feel as though you're not wide open for hurt or anything like that, but there's a greater sense of discernment, there's a greater sense of understanding, there's a greater sense of knowing your own worth and making sure that you don't shortchange yourself again.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks very interesting. It really does. And it does feel as though there will be a lot of applicants, so to say, but it feels to me as though and it's not a matter of judgment. It's a matter of this doesn't feel right, and no thank you. But it feels as though you've got a soulmate coming. It really does. And I don't normally say that to someone.
Right. Well, I've waited a super long time. Like, I've never been married or anything like that. But one of the things that came up for me in the last few days was, it seems to be really difficult to manifest when you don't have connection,
Mm-hmm.
And, I have connection with other people, like friends or whatever. But, some of my long-term friendships have recently ended, and that's almost like a divorce.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like if you can't be around that person anymore, you just can't. Like, even though I feel like, but we were such good friends for so long, but when I think about what the conditions would be on the friendship, like, it's just not worth it. To me, it's run its course,
Well, yeah, and that's a very healthy way to look at it, too. I mean, sometimes friends are good for a long time, sometimes for a lifetime, and sometimes just through a period of development. And then it's appropriate that everyone move on in their own direction. But what I'm seeing is you being open for a very deep, committed, long-term relationship, and I do feel it coming. And you have become the kind of person that you want to have in your life, and that's what you're sending out there. And I do feel that this next year you will attract that to you. Now, it's going to be a little embarrassing for you, but that's good. Be cautious. No, be cautious and take it slow. And anyone who doesn't want to go as slow as you want to go is not the person I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So if somebody tries to rush you, that's not who I'm talking about. If somebody tries to push you into elements of relationship that you're not yet comfortable with, that's not the person I'm talking about. I'm seeing somebody who's very, very, very special.
Well, that's encouraging.
Well, I think it's something that you are definitely ready for. And the only way that you'll ever know if you are ready for it, if it is something that you're meant to have, is to have it presented to you. And I think you're very ready. I think that this is really spectacular. And yet I'm also saying, and please hear what I'm saying, it's up to you to be discerning, because there are going to be other people that are drawn to you as well that just aren't going to be as healthy for you. So, make sure you know what your deal breakers are, and if someone has just even one of the deal breakers, walk away.
Yeah.
And that's not like you usually do things. You usually try to make everything work and to work around something that you're not comfortable with, and you will not do that any longer. And it's okay if something looks perfect, smells perfect, but has just one little flaw. That's walk away.
Yeah, because we should know deep down if that's the person, right? We should really know.
Well, yes, and not only that, but, I always tell people that Mr. Right can't sit down next to you if Mr. Wrong is in the chair.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one to remember. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, that is funny because this guy that I've been talking to, it's like he spurred some of this on, but then, I didn't really have any qualms about going to meet him. And my friend said, maybe you should meet him in a public place. Like, maybe just, not, like I'm really trusting in a way. And, maybe too much so sometimes, right?
But your friends make good sense, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because this person's he's offered to do something for me. And he's offered to record one of my songs. But then we've been chatting back and forth. And some of what he's been saying is rather, he's a bit aggressive, And then I started to think, gee, I don't really think that's the type of, like, I wasn't looking for a relationship with him, but then I started to wonder, well, maybe this is something more than just, recording a song. But now, after talking to my friend, I'm like, no, I shouldn't just go to his recording studio, which is in his house. Like, I should go to meet him first somewhere.
No, I would say that he has an agenda, and this is not a kindness out of the goodness of his heart. He's got an agenda.
He has an agenda. Okay.
And I mean, if he had said, yeah, bring a friend and we'll record it and then we'll go have dinner, that's one thing, but it feels like he's got more, it really feels like he has an agenda.
Yeah, kind of, eh?
Yeah. And so I would highly recommend that. I think that recording one of your songs is a great thing, but I do feel that it's not the right circumstances, and I don't think that is what will eventually happen with him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Barbara. Like, that's just funny because I could feel resistance on my part, Like, I'm not rushing to get this done. And
yeah, no, trust your gut. I tell everybody, trust your gut unless you've had Mexican food the night before. So, trust your gut. And it feels to me like your gut was saying, are you crazy? And I'm going to give you indigestion if you really try to do this. So, nah.
No, there's something, not quite right about it for me. Yeah. But the interesting thing was that it did open me up to the possibility that, like, maybe I should be putting myself in a spot where I'm going to be able to meet someone. Like, I've kept myself really isolated,
Well, you don't have to do that. This person will find you so long as you're working on your stuff and your pathway and everything. Patrick found me he found me on Blog Talk Radio when I was doing a show.
Really?
I think I was doing 11 to 1 o'clock, and I was interviewing an author, and he popped into the chat room, and he was in Berkeley, California, and I was here. But I was ready to have a relationship. So when you're really ready, the universe opens that door no matter how hard you're trying to hide.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah, because it's scary. Like, I haven't dated anyone even in, 20 years,
Yeah. Oh, yes, I know. So just, baby steps. This guy feels far too pushy. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think he's younger than me, and when I was telling my friend about it and stuff, she said, I think he's too young. She said, I was picturing you as someone older, like, somebody patient and mature, right?
Oh, well, listen, I have nothing to do. I have no objections to you dating somebody 20, 30 years younger than you, so long as they have the right mindset. But this is not the right mindset.
Yeah, well, thanks for confirming that with me, because I was having uncomfortable feelings, you know?
Yeah. Now
Isn't
that's
it
not to say
funny?
you won't be nervous. Nervous is okay, but you have doubts, and when you have doubts, then when in doubt, don't.
Yeah, you know what? It is the funniest thing. No matter how old we get, we still deal with the same kind of BS, right?
Sure.
With the guys. Like, it's just incredible. Like, this other guy that I knew, he was actually one of the caregivers for a friend of mine who actually passed from ALS a few years ago. I think about 10 years ago now it is that she passed. And anyway, I just knew him from going to her house and doing her hair when she was sick. And, so I just knew him like as an acquaintance, let's say. And, I have him on Facebook and everything, but I've got like 800 people on Facebook, right? Or whatever, But, anyway, so, he saw that I was struggling, and he said he had a proposal for me, and he wanted to meet in a park. And I thought, there is no friggin' way. He wanted to meet in this Fish Creek Park, which is I don't know how many acres of wilderness, right? And it's like, oh, yeah, right. Lamb going to the slaughter? I don't think so. I said, let's maybe meet at a coffee shop, I said would be better for me, And so anyway, he said he wanted some artwork done or this or that. And I said, okay, whatever. So then, he didn't really give me a clear idea what he wanted. And I said, well, send me a message about what you want and stuff. He didn't seem to be comfortable telling me in person. So that was kind of weird. And I had kind of creepy feelings almost. And then what it turns out to be is he wants all these portraits of himself, and he wants his penis to be featured front row and center, basically. He wants me to do all these sketches. And it's like he wants to have a whole wall of sketches of himself, and I'm like, holy cow, this is like the worst scenario ever. And then when we were talking, he told me that he was bisexual. And I thought, I don't know if he's telling me that because it's true, or if he's telling me that because I won't think of him as a threat, right? But I thought, holy narcissism, number one, and then number two, it's like, oh my God, like really? The guy is quite a big man. Like, he must weigh 400 pounds,
This is probably not something you should do.
No, and I didn't. And I said, you know what? It's not for me, thanks. I mean, I was just getting creeped out thinking like, wow, like, are you going to model for me too? And,
oh, God.
Oh, God. I was just like, wow, But, when I was younger, I attracted a lot of deviant types, you could say, sociopaths, Yeah. And it's funny, as you get older, you think it's going to be different. Like, I'm not exactly the tiny-waisted, attractive woman that I was. I'm still attractive, but not in the same way. And yet you still deal with this kind of stuff. It just blows my mind.
There are weirdos out there. It's easy. But you recognize them now, and you just say thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. Deb in the chat room, she's struggling not to comment. Yeah, but I'm like really naive. Like, I've been through a lot, and I remember the last boyfriend I had saying to me, for somebody that's been around the block at least 3 times, he said, you are so bloody naive. Like, I just take people at face value. And, you just can't anymore because there's all these people having agendas.
Well, yeah, but don't worry about it. Deb has grounded you and padlocked the door, so I think you're fine.
I know, right? I need my Jiminy Cricket always on my shoulder because,
Yeah. I think you're right. I still think somebody valid and valuable is coming into your life, but you do have to get through the jerks first. So, you just, when that alarm goes off, for God's sakes, pay attention.
Oh, yeah,
and with you, trust your gut even if you've had Mexican food. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's better safe than sorry. If the person's worthwhile, they'll come around for a second go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, before I used to say, well, like you said, I would see maybe I'm being, hard on these people, but no.
No, I think you were pretty accurate.
Well, I think it's my Libra rising. I'm always, pretty lenient with these people, but then I end up getting into a spot that I don't like to be in,
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. But I will get some new underwear perhaps.
Okay, that's a good start.
Just in case. But honestly, I don't know what I would do if somebody's put in front of me like that. I think what I'll do is I'll just say, you know what, it's been a real long time since I dated, and I think I'll just be totally transparent about it,
Well, I don't even think you have to do that. I think that this person will come along when you're ready for it, and it'll be the most natural thing in the world for you to go out and have coffee or whatever.
Yeah.
And let it go from there.
Yeah.
Don't scare them away by saying, I'm a born-again virgin, be careful.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That's probably not the best approach. That's suggesting that sex is even on the table. I'd make them ask if it's on the table when it comes down to that. So just don't be open for weird behavior,
right.
Of which both of them exhibited. So just take yourself out of that particular genre.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Really, it doesn't cost that much to rent a recording studio for an hour. I think it'd be cheaper in the long run,
Oh, and safer, yes.
Yeah. But, I didn't even think of safety. What is wrong with me? I'm almost 62 years old, and I didn't even think of safety, honestly.
There are crazy people out there, yeah.
Yeah.
Think of safety. Check it out with Deb Schiller first.
Yeah, that's what I should run it past I call her my twin. She calls me her twin because we have a lot in common, and then we have the same name, same first name.
Yeah.
So I'll have to run it past my twin.
Good idea.
Well, thanks for your insight, Barbara.
You're so welcome. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye now.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, Barbara, you had a long day on air. So, barbara-delong.com, freedomslips.com, Monday nights.
Monday and Wednesday night.
Wednesday night at Blog Talk Radio.
Wednesday night's Blog Talk, and Monday night is freedomslips.com.
barbara-delong.com. And you guys should check it out if you haven't. I keep saying it, but there's so much awesome and cool information there, you know what I mean? Stuff that you just don't find on everybody's website. So it's worth a look. And so, Barbara, until the next time when we have a discussion show.
Yes,
ma'am. Thank you so much again for coming, and have a good next couple of 2 weeks.
Thank you. You
and
too.
Hopefully I'll have more good news about this revised eating habits thing.
That's so cool, Chris. Thank you for doing it. I really appreciate that.
I do appreciate it. I recognize, you offered it. That was very generous to offer, and the least you deserve is a little bit of feedback for that. So
I appreciate that.
Awesome. Okay,
Take care now.
so you too. Thank you, and we will talk to you again soon. I'm going to play a song, and then we'll see if any of you guys are coming in for overtime.
I've been down with a broken heart since the day I learned to speak. The devil gave me a crooked start when he gave me crooked feet. But Gabriel done came to me and kissed me in my sleep. And I'll be singing like an angel until I'm 6 feet deep. I found myself an old man and I tattooed on a sign. I set my mind to wandering and walk a broken line. You have a mind to keep me quiet, and although you can try, better men have hit their knees and bigger men have died. I'm alive. Where the you gotta come on now, ring that bell. It came upon a lightning strike and eyes of bright clear blue. I took that diamond around my neck and gave my heart to you. I sent my love across the sea, and though I didn't cry, that voice will haunt my every dream until the day I die. Come on, I dug a hole inside my heart to put you in your grave. At this point, it was you or me, and Mama didn't raise no slave. You took my face in both your hands and looked me in the eye, and I went down with such a force that in your grave I lie. I'm gonna
you guys know how to press the one button. So, Diane, press the one button. I want to hear about your move. And say hello. Hello. Press one, not 1-1. One. Hello. 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 Okay. Okay, there you are. There you are. So tell me about this interesting adventure. Okay, something.
That was me, Chris.
Oh, okay.
Where's Diane?
Hang on. Okay, there, Diane. Here, first let me wrap the archive. Thank you, archive listeners. We'll be back tomorrow with Amy, the world's only heaven'tologist and mermaid, and always an interesting time with Amy. And so thank you. Till we'll see you.